Well, I love the entire show. Some of my favorite performances by you, Ben, were the moments where you were either becoming or battling the Scorpius clone.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if those were as fun for you as an actor as they were for us watching, or if there were any particular difficulties.
For those of, I guess most of you know what she's talking about, where Crichton was reaching the peak of his insanity and he's battling with retaining his persona over becoming Scorpius. That what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And we would shoot it in two separate phases, one where I'm me, looking like me, and the other where I'm in the Scorpius prosthetic. So we did them on separate days, basically. The least comfortable part about doing that was when I went to lick Claudia's face. She wasn't happy. It wasn't in the script. I can't recall whether it was fun. You don't want Claudia angry at you. Yeah, it was fun. Next question.
Good afternoon. I first got to see Farscape through this Christmas because of a friend of mine from Russia.
Listen to you.
She said that Russia has a huge following for Farscape. Incidentally, they'd love it if you do a convention out there sometime in Moscow. Not now with the fires and the smoke, but sometime soon.
Sometime in the winter.
That's something to keep them cheerful. But one thing she pointed out is there's actually a lot of Russian imagery in Farscape. The peacekeeper symbol, the white silhouette on the black with the red triangle, was the symbol for one of the armies during the revolution.
Yes, it was a Bolshevik symbol. Yeah.
And in the 1812 episode, you were basically playing the character of Foolish Ivan, this Russian book hero who somehow keeps screwing up, but everything comes right for him. Was this something
Yeah, I played that character for the whole series. What was the question?
Well, I was asking if it was deliberate or a writer's in-joke, but it sounds like it was deliberate.
The imagery, yes, Ricky Ayers did a direct lift on that one for the Peacekeeper symbol. Yeah, and so the Peacekeeper, a lot of the patterning and ideas behind the Peacekeepers were sort of taken out of that propaganda style of art from basically the 20s and 30s that the Russians were using. So I believe that was a conscious decision. Yes.
Thank you very much.
That's why the Russians love us. Have you ever been to Russia?
No.
I haven't either. Anybody here been to Russia? Yeah?
Dude, actually,
Is it worth going?
No. No.
architecture's gorgeous.
Too cold.
Yeah.
I like to use these things as an educational way to bridge communities, cultures.
Vladivostok, has anybody been there? Apparently it's the closest one to the west. Nobody's been there, okay, so. Just curious.
Americans need to travel more.
What do you need for a holiday? And Australians need to. I think you only get 2 weeks. Do you get 2 weeks? If I get 2 weeks, I'd be at home on the couch too. I wouldn't want to move anywhere. I mean, gee.
I love to
We get
travel.
more, I think.
I want someone to take me to Barbados.
Greg is always going to be a taker when you say that.
I don't know, most Americans just want a job. Once we get a job, we want a vacation.
Okay, hi. My question's for Ben.
Yes.
I want to know what your thought process was when writing John Quixote, and how it may have differed when you were writing the Stargate episode Bad Guys. differences between the writing.
Right, so the question is, what was my thought process when writing John Quixote?
Or if there even was.
Or anything else. Like writing emails. No, I did not. John Quixote, for those of you who haven't seen the episode, was an episode where John was basically in a virtual game run by Stark, or an incarnation of Stark. And he was stuck in it in a cycle, looping through back and forth until he finally figured out how to win the game, as it were. So when I was writing it, I was interested in that, but I was also importantly interested in the lies that John was kind of telling himself about what was important, or what he believed was important, and how that interacted with the game. I also wanted to bring Virginia back. Because, unlike some sci-fi shows, death is permanent on Farscape. She wasn't dead. You just thought she was dead, but we did actually lose characters, and Zan was such a beautiful addition to the show, and Virginia did such a wonderful job with it. Then I really wanted to find a way to bring her and that mythology that Zan had and how important she was to John back to the show. So the most common comment that I got. The most common comment I got about it when people read the script was, "What have you been smoking?" I thought it was just kind of normal. And it is one of those heavily divisive episodes, I think, where if someone tuned into that episode for the first time they saw Farscape, there were probably a lot of stoners.
Guys, could you take it outside or something?
That's awesome, man.
You're giving me the evil eyes?
No, I'm not giving you the evil eyes. But you're discerning hardcore sci-fi fans.
You're annoying people.
But as far as writing in general,
I'm not yelling.
You're
I
annoying.
did not write the
Annoying.
episode that I'm credited with story by on Stargate. And I'm going to be clear about that. There's a difference between story by and writing. The episodes I wrote on Farscape, I wrote every single word. From beginning to end, I did all the rewrites. If rewrites were needed, I would write them the night before. So that, those I wrote. The Stargate episode, I had a story idea. I gave it to the guys. I didn't expect them to use it, and used it. I said, fine, and then they said, we have to credit you. And I go, you don't have to credit me. But they wanted to credit me, so, my involvement in that was just pitching an idea, not actually doing the writing, which is really a very difficult job on any show.
Thank you.
Long answer. Go ahead.